Hi everybody, this is Osprey from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at the beverage companies that are getting into the marijuana sector or are thinking about getting into the marijuana sector. So first up we're looking at Coca-Cola Company, ticker symbol KO. Big talk today about them teaming up with Aurora Cannabis, ticker symbol ACB. FF on the over-the-counter markets, and I released a video earlier tonight that analyzed ACBFF, so please take a look at that. As you can see here, Coke has been on a nice run here. It ran back up to this key resistance level. As you can see here, there was a double top formed here, and then it pulled back, and now it's back at this top level. Okay, this is at about 46.35 or so is going to be the big level to break. If it can bust through this level and turn it into support, that's going to signal that it wants to keep pushing and pushing higher. If it fails to break this level, it could pull back and test that middle Bollinger Band and 50-day simple moving average. Okay, this is the if you go back 20 years, this is the all-time high close here, and so it's testing this all-time high close level, possible all-time high. I don't know if you go back past 20 years, maybe it was at a higher level, but in the last 20 years, this is the highest level that it's been. So if it can get above this level, it could be possibly on a blue sky breakout. So if you look here, this is a monthly chart. This is a 20-year monthly chart, and as you can see, it's hitting the highest levels of all time. Back here in January, it looks like the all-time high of 47 or so, and so if it can bust through this 46.30 resistance zone, 47 will be on deck. It'll be the key is to close above that January monthly closing price for the month. If it can make a new high close, that should be a signal that Coca-Cola wants to keep pushing higher. Okay, take a look at Constellation Brands. They had a big deal with Canopy Growth, and so now they own 40% of the business. They are holding the 50-day simple moving average support level right now. It came up and it hit the 200-day simple moving average. It came up, Jesus Lord. It came up and hit the 50 and the 200-day simple moving averages here, and then it not sure what's going on with this chart, but yeah, it ended up pulling back, and then let's see if we can get this right here. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with this one. I'm having problems with my cursor. So the bottom line is it has to get above that red line there. That's the 200-day simple moving average at 218. Right now it's hitting the 50-day simple moving average at 211.50. If it can hold that level, this is where it should have the bounce. It needs to hold that middle Bollinger Band at 209 to keep that uptrend going. A break above that 218, 219 resistance level should be the signal that it wants to head higher. Okay, let's take a look at TAP here. Okay, this is Molson Coors Brewing Company, and yeah, they ended up doing a deal, a beverage deal. You could see here they did a beverage deal with the Hydro Apothecary Corporation down here, ticker symbol HYYDF, also known as Hexo. Okay, and so they're making infused beverages. And if we look here at the TAP chart, you could see that it had a nice bullish move today. It closed up 1.3%. And so what it did was it closed above EMA 4 at 63.67. It needs to stay above that level, and then it's hitting the next key level to break, which is EMA 8 at 64.05. And so a break above that 64.05 level would be bullish, and then what you're looking for is a run back up to that 100-day simple moving average at 65. You need to see that level turn into support. As long as it stays above EMA 4, it can continue with the bounce. A drop below would signal downside risk. Okay, take a look at HYYDF here. Okay, so this is the company that TAP did a deal with. Has a very strong uptrend going. You could see the candles are still riding the EMA 4 support higher. It needs to break that 640 resistance zone, the closing price here on the 11th. If it can break above that level, that's going to signal it wants to head higher. You want to see it close above 640. If it dropped below 609, this EMA 4 level, that's where it could possibly consolidate. Right now, there's really big volume behind the move, so you can see huge volume moved in, and yeah, people are supporting the stock now that they've teamed up with Molson with the Molson Brewer there, and you can see here, this is the weekly chart for HYYDF. This is the all-time history, the complete trading of the stock. It started back here in March of 2017, and then now you can see it's hitting these all-time high levels. It looks like just below $7 is the all-time high. It's going to need to break that level to head higher. It does have a super frothy chart going. It has the bearish 3 gap up reversal patterns, and then this week's candle, there's a gap up open, and the candle's floating above the upper Bollinger Band. Notice there's also a lower high. It's going to be really important that it makes a new high to keep this going. Fail to make a new high, and that's swing point number 3 for a pullback. You could see it possibly pull back. The candles work back into the bands and test EMA 4 at 558. As long as that level holds, the chart is still super strong. Check out the huge volume spike last week. That has that climax spike. Kind of look for it, but we'll see if support can hold and it can keep pushing higher. Okay, so take a look at Heineken, the green bottle beer company. They've teamed up with another company, and they are making cannabis beverages. If you look here, they ended up buying Lagunitas brewery, and they've have come out with this hi-fi hops cannabis infused non-THC, or does it have THC? I guess it does have THC drinks. So yeah, it's THC infused sparkling water. Okay, so yeah, they ended up buying these guys out, and now Heineken's teamed up with the U.S. craft brewer. And so yeah, this is interesting. You know, it doesn't get a lot of volume because it trades over the counter. Only 55,000 shares traded. You know, it had the initial run up when the news came out, and it's had this huge pullback. What it needs to do is get back above EMA 4 right now at $48. If it can get above 48, look for a possible run back up to 49. Since this is over the counter, it doesn't trade options, so it's not as desirable for you know, for the speculators, for the traders. You know, the percentage gains are just not that big. But yeah, for you know, for a longer term play, you know, it has a very ugly chart right now, but if it can get an uptrend going on the daily chart, maybe it could get interesting again. I mean, just because they team up with the beverage company and they get into the marijuana business, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to help their bottom line right away. Okay, let's look at DEO here, Diego. Okay, so this chart has been pulling back. Everybody's talking about who is Diego going to team up with. Right now, it's below the 200-day simple moving average at 139.86. It needs to get above that level. If it can get back above that level, the middle Bollinger Band at 140.47, basically 140.50 is the big level to turn into support. If you look back here in July, when it got above that dotted purple line, that's when it had the nice big run. So that's what you're looking for here. If that 200-day simple moving average remains resistance, you could see a drop down to 136 to test the 300-day simple moving average. Okay, so everybody is wondering, you know, which company is next to team up with Diego, and so yeah, there's a lot of speculation out there on who that could be, and yeah, it could be, you know, the Motley Fool here is saying that they're thinking Afria, Tilray, and Aurora Cannabis are the 3 top candidates to team up with Diego. They're the maker of Guinness beer and Smirnoff. Okay, so yeah, so keep an eye on them. And then check out Budweiser here. This is Anheuser-Busch, ticker symbol BUD. They have the best ticker symbol for the marijuana sector, Bud, right? So check them out. They are bouncing down here. They had this big pullback, and then it's trying to turn EMA 4 into support. If it can stay above 89.43, it could continue bouncing. If it drops below, it's going to be a risk to hold. As this chart shows, candles forming below EMA 4 signal downside risk. You're better off just writing puts in that scenario. Now that it's holding EMA 4, it's in play for a bounce and for calls, but it has to get above EMA 8 at 90. Okay, if it breaks above 90, that's going to signal upside potential, and you could get a run up there to EMA 13 at 91.20. A drop below that 89.43 signal would signal downside risk. If you look here at Anheuser-Busch, yeah, you've got the heir, the descendant to the beer family here. I think it's the grandson. I'm having some problems with my computer here. He is getting into the marijuana game. So yeah, this was just out just recently here, just a couple days ago. Marijuana is his business, not beer. You can check this out on Market Watch. But yeah, he's getting into like selling vape pens and stuff like that. So maybe maybe he'll end up teaming up with, getting his family's business into the marijuana business down the line. If you look here, that GTBIF who I posted earlier, they had teamed up with or it was the Jim Beam Whiskey Fortune descendant who had started that one. So that was a big play. And then you have earlier the Wrigley chewing gum company launched Coral Reef. So you have all these big family money type people getting into the game. Okay, so since we have all these other companies that are getting into the marijuana business, and then for Budweiser, the big speculation is who are they going to team up with? Who's going to be how is Budweiser going to enter the game? I mean, Budweiser is likely to get in with everybody else. So whoever gets the lucky enough to team up with Budweiser, since they're the top dog, that's going to be huge news, okay, if it does happen. Okay, since Coca-Cola announced today they're teaming up with Aurora Cannabis, it's a good idea to keep an eye on PepsiCo. I mean, are they going to just sit back and let their rivals get into the CBD game without them getting into it? I highly doubt it. So you never know. There could be something coming out with PepsiCo. Keep an eye on it. It has a very similar chart to Coca-Cola. It's up here hitting this high level, this 115.50 resistance zone. If it can get above that, you have the closing price here on August 6th. That's the big level to break, around 1650 or so. If it can close above that level, that's going to be our signal that it wants to keep heading higher. As you can see, this has been the resistance zone. So fail to break this 1550, 1650 zone, then this will be once again the take profit zone. It's going to have to close above to head higher. But keep an eye on PepsiCo. And then one more to leave you with here is, man, why you got to do that to me? Is LXRP. I'm just throwing this in here, this over-the-counter stock, because they are in the food science business. And so, with all the makers of all the beverage makers taking off and getting into the game, this candidate looks like this company looks like they could be a player. And so keep an eye on LXRP. It came down here and it's hitting the 50-day simple moving average and the 100-day simple moving average on the chart. And if it can get back above that middle Bollinger Band at 198 and turn $2 into support, it could get heading higher. A break above and close above 210 is what you're really looking for. So you want to see $2 and then 210 turn into support. Once it's above 210, it should get moving. If you look here, it's a thinly traded ticker. It has yeah, sorry for the delays here. So as you can see here, there's this little information on the company here. They have some patented cannabinoid deal going on. So yeah, keep an eye on these guys. So there's a lot going on in the marijuana industry. I'm trying to keep our chat up to date. If you'd please come check out the chat, I'd love to have you there. We have a marijuana sector chat. Post charts and technical analysis and information all throughout the day, and as you can see, all around the clock. All right, thanks for viewing this video. Yeah, because it's like 11 o'clock here Pacific Standard Time. No sleep for the traders. All right, thank you.